What's up, everybody? My name is Dana Harris with Young Gurus Math Tutoring, and I'm back again to drop some more math jewels. In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve equations with an imaginary solution. Yes, I said an imaginary solution. So before you get too confused, let me get into example one. All right, let's say I have x squared equals -4. Okay, x squared equals -4. Now I need to get x by itself, so that means I have to get rid of that exponent of 2. Well, the opposite of taking a number to the second power is taking the square root. So I'm going to say the square root and the square root there. So this side, the radical and the square root cancel, so I'm left with x equals the square root of -4. Now, according to our rules, some people have been told that you cannot have the square root of a negative number, but I'm here to tell you that that is wrong. This is actually equal to the square root of -1 times the square root of 4. And as you may or may not know, and if you don't know, go watch my other video on imaginary numbers. The square root of -1 is actually I. And then the square root of 4 is 2. Technically, it's plus or minus 2. So our answer would be plus or minus 2i. Okay? And what I mean when you see this right here, that means positive 2i or negative 2i. There's both values in one, but they put the plus and minus together like that. Okay? Example 2, I'm going to have a similar problem. Say x squared equals -5. I need to get rid of that exponent of 2, so I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And here the radical cancels out the exponent of 2. I get the square root of -5. Now, from our rules, we can say that this is equal to the square root of -1 times the square root of 5. Square root of -1 is equal to I, and then I have the square root of 5. Your solution is I times the square root of 5. Now, most of the time, you will see people put the I in front of the radical because it just helps to keep from confusing whether or not that I is a variable under the radical or not. So I times the square root of 5 is this solution. And so whenever you see the solution with I, it is an imaginary number. If you notice, if you've actually paid attention to a lot of algebra books or math books, they rarely use I as a variable because of the fact that you have imaginary numbers. Okay, so two more examples and we'll be done. Let's get this one and say example 3. I have 4x squared plus 15 equals tree. Okay, I need to get x by itself. So I'm going to take this 15 to the right side. So subtract 15 there. And I'm going to have 4x squared. Those will cancel because 15 minus 15 equals 0. Equals 3 minus 15 is -12. Okay? Need to get rid of that coefficient of 4, so I'm going to divide by 4 because anytime you have a coefficient next to a variable, that means multiplication. So divide by 4 here, and whatever I do to the left side, I have to do to the right side. I don't know why I wanted to put a negative there. 4 divided by 4 is 1. That gives me x squared. -12 divided by 4 is -3. And then now I got to take the square root of both sides to get rid of that exponent. Square root there, square root there. This leaves me with just x. Square root of 3 is the same thing as, square root of -3 is the same thing as the square root of -1 times the square root of tree. And I have x equals I times the square root of tree as my solution. All right, let's do one more example. All right, y'all have to bear with me. I really want to get loud, but my microphone is going to sound terrible if I start yelling. So I think this microphone helps me to not get overly excited. I really enjoy doing these videos. I really enjoy teaching mathematics. It's weird like that. All right, example 4. Let's say I have 6x squared plus 5 is equal to 2x squared plus 1. Okay? Got some like terms, but they're on different sides of the equal sign. So I need to maneuver them around. So I'm going to take, I like my variables on the left. So I'm going to take this 2x squared by subtracting it. And I'm going to put it over here with this family. They're like terms. So that gives me 4x squared. Bring down my plus 5 equals 1. All right. 5 needs to go over there. So I'm going to subtract 5. Subtract 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. So 4x squared equals 1 minus 5 is negative 4. I need to get rid of that coefficient of 4. So I need to divide by 4 on both sides. Divide by 4 there. 4 divided by 4 is 1. That leaves me with x squared equals negative 1. Take the square root of both sides, because in order to get rid of that squared, I need to take the square root. That leaves me with x equals, the square root of negative 1 is actually equal to I. And I know that looks weird, but remember, I represents an imaginary number. And I stands for the square, or negative 1 equals, the square root of negative 1 equals I. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Share the videos with a friend, a parent, whoever. Just share it. I need these all around the world to help people, because math ain't going nowhere soon. And with tech being on the rise right now, we need more students to fulfill these tech jobs, and we need more students to get a love for STEM and STEAM and things like that, because that's the wave of the future. So you need to understand this mathematics, and hopefully these videos help you. Go to Instagram at YG Math Tutoring and follow. Also go to Facebook, like the Facebook page, Young Gurus Math Tutoring. And please, please, please keep watching, keep sharing. Thank you so much to everybody that's been following the movement the past couple years. Remember, Young Gurus Math Tutoring, I've got the solution to your math problems.